Hey everybody, thanks for joining us with our Airbotx videos. I'm Tom McArdle, and this video we're going to talk about the different features of the machine so you understand everything behind how it works and what it can be used for. So obviously you got your power cord that plugs into the machine on this side. This white button gives you power on or off. That's all it does. We're going to set this aside for this video. Pretty straightforward. Now I will say this is a 25-foot cord, which is really helpful in the restoration industry because it gives you a long reach to plug in. We're also going to set this aside for a second. This is a cap that goes onto it. We'll talk about this later. So we're going to start with where the airflow comes in, and we're going to walk through that way. So the first thing, this is the intake side. On this intake side, you have two filters. You have a HEPA filter that does the main capturing of the smallest particulate, and you've got the MERV 8 pre-filter. So obviously as the air goes through the machine, it comes in here. This is the intake side. You're going to have the MERV 8 pre-filter. Then you're going to have the HEPA filter, and that's going to work its way into the UVC chamber. Obviously, with the filtration there, this machine can be used as a scrubber. For years, I've always said that radicals, oxidants, hydroxyls work really, really well with scrubbers. Scrubbers are going to capture the particulates. The hydroxyls are going to handle the gases and VOCs. They are perfect teammates. They work really, really well together. So the filtration built in here is obviously nice. So now it's going to come into the chamber. Inside that chamber, you're going to have 4 UVC lamps. And that's where kind of the magic happens, where these hydroxyl radicals and other radicals and oxidants are being produced, and they're going to be exited out of the machine. So in that chamber, air passing through, yes, you will react with the air and break down the gases and VOCs as it travels through. However, we're also producing these radicals and oxidants that are going to exit the machine to work on the odors that had been absorbed into the structure and contents, particularly the porous items like drywall, couches, clothes, carpet, things like that. Those porous materials are going to hold on to the odor. The radicals we produce are going to go into those porous materials, latch onto the odors, and break them apart. So by breaking them apart, they cannot reform. They cannot come back later on down the road. They are permanently eliminated, and it's very important, particularly in hard-to-reach areas. So here we got, just a reminder, air comes in, we capture the particulates with the filter, we go through the UVC chamber, break down gases and VOCs in the air, produce the radicals that are going to exit the machine. To be clear, inside that chamber you have 4 UVC lamps. You can gauge how many of those you run, but we'll get to that in a minute. Over on this side, when the air comes out, we have a 700 CFM fan. It can be adjustable, so you can lower the speed if you like, but it goes up to 700 CFM. Outside, the outtake of the machine is on both sides. So you have one on this side, one on this side, and the air shoots out both directions. This helps with an even airflow distribution, helps you create a nice vortex. However, this is where the black cap comes in. If for whatever reason you wanted to cap one side of the machine on the outtake side, you can cap either side. For example, if you wanted the airflow to go one direction because you want it to go down a hallway, or we set this up so you can put lay flat onto it. So maybe you want lay flat on one side and inject it into a crawl space or inject it into an attic. Having this black cap can help you do that. And all you got to do, place it on, that's it. You don't need any tools, you don't need any extra pieces. It latches on to either side of the machine. The machine itself has 2 handles on the side and 1 in the middle. This is really meant to, you can pick up the machine, but it's really meant to pull the UVC chamber out. And if you look at the quick setup video, look at the cleaning and maintenance videos, you can see how pulling the chamber out, how to clean the machine, replace the lamps, all that's good information for that. But that's really what this one's primarily for. It's the 2 lamps on the side to pick up the machine. This machine is stackable. You can put 3 machines on top of each other. This helps with your storage in the warehouse or transporting it from job to job. The machine can work laying flat like this, or it can go vertical. Both options, totally good. It works the same both ways. One thing for transport that you will notice, it's got big wheels on it. We also have a handle built in. So underneath the machine, you pull up here, the handle comes up, and this allows for easy transportation when you're rolling it from different areas on the job. On the top side, the side now, you can see the different parts of what does the work for the machine. So we're going to start here on the left. This is what turns on the fan. You click this on to turn on the fan, and you can keep winding it clockwise to lower the fan speed. All the way up, counterclockwise before you turn it off. That's the highest fan speed, 700 CFM fan. Next to that, we have a red light. This is the indicator of when the HEPA filter inside needs to be replaced. Red light goes on, it's time to replace your HEPA filter. Above that, we have the hour meter. This is an important part of the machine because it tells you when the lamps need to be replaced. It'll tell you how long the machine's been running. We recommend replacing the lamps after about 4,000 hours of runtime. So yes, they will stay lit for 10,000 hours or more, but they gradually lose their power over time. And when you're dealing with moderate to severe odors, you're looking to get jobs done quickly and knock those things out, you'll start to notice that it's not as strong as it used to be. Once it hits around that 4,000 hour mark, that's the best time to replace them. Watch our cleaning and maintenance video and we can show you an easy way to pull out the chamber, replace the lamps, easy to do. Next to that, we have the switch that controls how many lamps are running at a time. So it could be 1, 2, 3, or 4 lamps. Almost all projects, you want the machine as strong as it can be. That's obviously on 4 lamps. That's going to give you the most power. However, if you wanted to taper down the strength of it, lower the amount of ozone that's being produced, lower amount of the radicals being produced, let's say in your small, confined, occupied areas, you can have the gauge of 1, 2, 3, or 4 lamps. We have an operational and safety guidelines in our manual, in our laminated forms, so use those as a gauge. But there is a small amount of ozone that comes out of the machine. We always like to follow OSHA limits, make sure everyone's being careful and checking out for that. So that gives you the ability when you control the lamps. Below that, you can see we have 2 GFCI outlets built into the machine. This lets you daisy chain either other Airbotx machines or other type of equipment that you want to run. This machine draws just under 5 amps, so it gives you plenty of extra amperage to use. So that's where the daisy chain can come in handy. The handle can go back down. The machine, like I said, can be horizontal or vertical, and that's it. That's the basic operation of the machine. We will have more operational tips and variables to consider to be more successful on projects, so check out those videos. Thanks for joining us. We hope that helped.